Pretty much every culture has some concept of an underworld, a place for judgment, maybe punishment. But what if hell wasn't the end of the line? What if it was more like a temporary cosmic reform school? Well, today we're diving into the Garuda Purana, an ancient Hindu text that gives one of the most detailed and, frankly, one of the most terrifying roadmaps for what happens to the soul after death. Right off the bat, this text just completely flips the common Western idea of permanent damnation on its head. According to the Garuda Purana, the whole point of hell isn't to suffer forever. Nope, it's all about purification. The soul goes there to basically burn off its bad karma, to learn from its past mistakes, and to have its conscience permanently reshaped by the whole ordeal.
So how does this journey even begin? Well, it all starts at the exact moment of death, which, for the sinful, is described as anything but peaceful. It's an intensely personal and absolutely terrifying experience. Okay, so imagine this. In your final moments, you're not seeing some gentle, welcoming light. Instead, you're met by these two figures. They're described as being as black as crows, with their hair standing straight up. They're carrying nooses and rods, their teeth are grinding, and their fingernails are basically weapons. Their appearance alone is supposed to be so shocking, it makes your heart just give out.
Now, this brings up a pretty logical question, right? If your physical body is gone, how can a spirit feel physical pain? Well, the text has an answer for that. The soul is given a brand new form, the Jatana Deha, which literally means the body of torment. Think of it as a temporary vessel made of some kind of subtle matter, created for the sole purpose of feeling every single ounce of suffering that's about to come.
And get this, the soul itself is depicted as being just the size of a thumb. It's violently yanked out of the physical body by these messengers, and as it's being dragged away, it's crying out, looking back one last time at the body it used to live in, the family it's leaving behind, the whole life that just ended. This is that final, brutal separation and the start of a journey it does not want to take.
All right, so the soul is now in its body of torment, and the next phase begins. It's a long, brutal trek along what's called the Way of Yama, the path that leads to the court of the King of Justice. And let me tell you, this is no simple walk in the park.
The sheer scale of this journey is just staggering. The path is 86,000 yojanas long. Now, a single yojana is about 8 or 9 miles. So, we're talking about a journey of over 700,000 miles on foot, with absolutely no rest, no shelter, and no water.
And the path itself? It's a landscape of pure horror. The soul is forced to walk on scorching hot sand while at the same time being pierced by freezing cold winds. It gets torn up by sharp thorns, stung by venomous snakes, and even attacked by lions and tigers. There's literally no escape, no moment of peace.
The abuse just comes from every direction. The sky isn't raining water, it's raining down boiling liquid, sharp weapons, and burning caustic mud. It's this overwhelming, relentless assault designed to completely break the soul down at every single step of this impossibly long trip.
The torment is just so creative and constant. Even something that should be natural, like a forest, becomes another instrument of pain. In this forest, the leaves on the trees are like razor-sharp swords, slicing and piercing the body of torment as the soul is forced to push its way through. But the absolute climax of this horrific journey is crossing the Vaitarani River. The description is, well, it's incredibly graphic. It's not a river of water. It's a boiling flow of pus and blood, and it's filled with crocodiles. Its banks are just heaps of bones and mud made of flesh, and huge vultures with beaks as hard as diamonds are swarming all around. This is the ultimate barrier that every sinner has to somehow get across.
So, after surviving all the horrors of that journey, the soul finally arrives at its destination, the city of Yama, the King of Justice. And it's here that its entire life is about to be put on trial in a kind of cosmic court.
Now, this isn't some simple process. It's a whole meticulous bureaucracy. You've got Yama, the ultimate judge. Then there's his recorder, Chitragupta, who keeps this perfect, detailed ledger of every single good and evil thing a person has ever done. And just to make sure nothing gets missed, there are the Shravanas, these celestial witnesses who see and hear everything you do, whether it's in public or in secret.
The soul is then brought right before Yama himself, and his appearance is meant to inspire absolute awe and terror. He's described as being enormous, seated on a giant buffalo,
with these deep-set eyes like wells and a mouth full of terrifying fangs. This is the face of cosmic justice.
So, after Chitragupta reads out the soul's entire karmic record, Yama passes his sentence. The soul gets sent to one of 21 specific hells, and each one has a unique punishment that's tailored to the sins committed. But, and this is the most important part to remember, this is not a life sentence. It's a temporary stay for that reforming and educating of the soul.
Okay, so what happens after the sentence is served and the soul is all purified? Well, it doesn't just get a free pass to heaven. The cycle continues. The soul is sent back to be reborn, but now it carries these invisible marks, these scars of its past life with it.
And the path back to a human life is a long one. First, the soul has to evolve through all these lower forms. We're talking plants, insects, birds, and animals before it can earn the incredibly precious opportunity of a human birth all over again. It's this slow, evolutionary climb back up the karmic ladder.
And this is where that abstract idea of karma becomes incredibly real and tangible. The text actually links specific sins in one life to specific consequences in the next. So insulting a teacher could mean you're reborn with epilepsy. Stealing a book could result in being born blind. A liar becomes a stammerer. These aren't just random problems. They're seen as the direct karmic echoes of your past actions. And this quote right here, this is really the core philosophy of the whole thing. The system of cosmic justice is absolute. It's inescapable. Every single action, good or bad, creates a debt or a credit that the soul must eventually repay. There is no statute of limitations on karma. It follows you across lifetimes until the score is settled.
Which, brings us right back to our opening question. When the soul is finally reborn, it doesn't consciously remember the horrors of Yama's path or the specific torments of hell, but its conscience, that little inner voice that steers you away from doing wrong, that has been forged and refined in that fire. So, is a punishment you can't even remember truly justice? Or is it, as the Garuda Purana seems to suggest, the most profound and terrifying form of education you could possibly imagine?